Hello, this video is going to be about standard deviation, which is a measure of variability or how spread out the data is in a data set. Standard deviation is a measure of variability. It represents the average distance the data points are from the mean. We can take a look at these two pictures. The one on the left has a large standard deviation because the data points are far away from the mean. So our mean is right here. So that means the average distance is going to be larger from the mean because the data points are more spread out. Whereas on the right here, we have a small standard deviation because all of these data points are really close to our mean. So the closer the data points are, that means that there's a smaller distance, so the standard deviation is smaller. The more spread out the data points are, the farther the distance, the average distance, so the larger the standard deviation. So a small standard deviation means low variability. So this would have low variability. And then a large standard deviation means that we have high variability. Again, standard deviation is a measure of variability, so it's telling us how spread out the data is. If we take a look at these two graphs, we'll notice that they have the same shape. They also have the same standard deviation. Even though their axes are different, the one starts at 0, the one on top starts at 0, it's increasing by 1 each time. And the one starts at -10, we're still increasing by 1. So since these two have the same shape, and the same scale, they're going to have the same standard deviation. So again, our median is going to be in the middle of these two data sets. So even though the mean and the median are different for these two data sets, since it has the same shape and the scales are the same, they're going to have the same standard deviation. However, with these two dot plots, we notice that they have the same shape. However, if we look at our scales, this one is going up by 10, and this one is only going up by 5. So this top one actually has a larger standard deviation because technically the data points are more spread out because of the scale. The second one is going to have a smaller standard deviation because the scale is only going up by 5s. So even though they have the same shape, we have to take a look at the scales in order to determine what the standard deviation is. Because from 10 to 50, that's 40. That's going to be 40 for us. But from 5 to 25, that's only 20. So when we talk about variability, 40 is a lot more spread out than 20. So the bottom one is going to have that smaller standard deviation. Taking a look at this last graph right here, the standard deviation for this graph is going to be 0. And the reason why is because our mean is 2, but all of the data points are at 2. Remember, standard deviation is the average distance that the data points are from the mean. So if all your data points are on the mean, there's no distance. So therefore, the standard deviation is 0. Thanks for watching.